What if the ancient world was far stranger, far more dangerous than we imagine? What if myths of giants walking the earth, fallen angels meddling with humanity, and the Great Flood, a catastrophic event that, according to religious texts, purified the earth from pervasive evil, weren't just stories but echoes of a forgotten history? Ancient texts whisper of a time before time, when beings of light walked among the heavens, but not all remained in their designated place. Stories passed down through millennia speak of rebellion, of angels who turned away from the divine order, and of the profound consequences that followed for Earth. Most know the brief account in Genesis, of sons of God taking daughters of men, but other ancient traditions like those found in the book of Enoch offer a more detailed and disturbing picture. These traditions speak of a great angelic rebellion, often described as occurring in stages or involving different groups. According to some interpretations, the rebellious angels were divided into 3 groups or categories. While some challenged heavenly authority directly, a third group, known as the Watchers in the Book of Enoch, made a fateful decision. Driven by lust and the desire to create a new world order, they descended to Earth. They specifically targeted women, and they targeted animals. They did this to create new types of human races, and to create demons. Today, we're diving deep into some of the most mysterious and controversial narratives found outside mainstream scriptures. Stories involving the prophet Enoch, angels that were cast out of heaven called the Watchers, their offsprings with human female called the Nephilim, and a catastrophic flood meant to wipe the slate clean. We'll also explore a specific interpretation that connects these events directly to the origin of demons. Consider the words found in the Epistle of Jude, chapter 1, verse 6. This passage speaks of angels who failed to maintain their original state, and left their designated heavenly home to mate with human females. From these forbidden unions came offspring known as the Nephilim, powerful giants who filled the earth with violence and further corrupted humankind. As a result, the text explains, God has confined them in eternal bonds, under deep gloom, awaiting the great day of judgment. Many scholars believe that this particular verse from the book of Jude refers to writings by Enoch, mentioned briefly in the book of Genesis as a man who walked with God, and then was no more because God took him. Enoch is the central figure in the ancient story of the fallen angels who came to corrupt the entire earth, introducing new human races and attempting to establish a new world order. While not part of the standard Bible for most Jewish and Christian traditions, this text provides a fascinatingly detailed backstory to the events leading up to Noah's flood. Based on its Hebrew origins, the name Enoch is generally understood to mean initiated, which refers to his initiation into divine secrets or knowledge, a trait that fits well with the story of the biblical figure Enoch. But what does it mean to walk with God so closely that one bypasses death itself? While the canonical Bible leaves us with mystery, ancient non-canonical texts, particularly the Book of Enoch, unfold a profound narrative. A story not just of righteousness but of initiation. His initiation began not with arcane rituals but with divine encounters. The Book of Enoch describes him being approached by angels, holy messengers, sent to guide him on spiritual journeys. His spirit was detached from his physical body. In this state he was guided by a powerful entity. This guidance took him through multiple dimensions, beyond our normal three-dimensional perception. These are realms inaccessible while in the flesh. There, in those realms, this entity revealed the inner workings of creation to him. This was no mere sightseeing tour. It was a profound education, an initiation into divine secrets. Enoch was shown the precise movements of the celestial bodies. He learned the laws governing the seasons, and saw the storehouses of the elements. He learned the very structure of the cosmos, knowledge hidden from ordinary mortals. His initiation extended beyond cosmology. He was granted visions of the future, witnessing the consequences of the fallen angels' transgression, their judgment, their monstrous offspring the Nephilim, and the coming deluge meant to cleanse the earth. He saw the fate of souls, the places of reward and punishment, and the eventual final judgment. He was so initiated into the divine mysteries, he even managed to transcend the bounds of the vast majority of mortal beings. This unholy union between the fallen Watchers and human women produced offspring known as the Nephilim, often translated as giants. Genesis 6 also mentions them, saying, "The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God went to the daughters of humans and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown." But some traditions suggest the corruption went even deeper, stretching the boundaries of nature itself. It's described that elements of this same group of fallen angels, in their rebellion against all natural order, also committed acts against nature by engaging in sexual acts with animals. This concept of acts against nature finds echoes in the Bible. Jude verse 6 speaks of angels who abandoned their proper dwelling, held in darkness for judgment. Then verse 7 compares their sin to Sodom and Gomorrah, cities judged for gross immorality and pursuing, quote, unnatural desire or desire of different flesh. The Book of Enoch paints a darker picture. These Nephilim were described as enormous beings with insatiable appetites. They consumed all the food, turned on animals, and eventually, even on humans, drinking blood and committing acts of violence and destruction. They, along with their fallen angel fathers who taught humanity forbidden knowledge like warfare and sorcery, corrupted the entire earth. Now this brings us to a specific and fascinating interpretation regarding the origin of demons. While many theological traditions view demons simply as fallen angels, this interpretation, drawing heavily from the Enochian narrative and related ideas, suggests something different. It claims that demons are the children, resulting from fallen angels mating with all kinds of animals. It states that the spirits of these demons stayed on earth after their physical bodies were destroyed during the Great Flood. Specifically, according to this view, the Nephilim, the offspring of Watchers and human women, were beings of immense power, but mortal flesh. When the physical bodies of the demons were destroyed, their spirits were unleashed upon the earth. But this interpretation adds another layer. It suggests that the Watchers also interbred with animals, creating other forms of unnatural, monstrous beings. The disembodied spirits of these corrupt angel-animal offsprings are what we now understand as demons. Restless, invisible entities seeking to influence and inhabit the physical realm because they lost their own bodies. The corruption became so rampant, the violence so widespread, that the earth itself cried out. According to Genesis and the Book of Enoch, this is why the Great Flood was sent. It wasn't just rain, it was a divine judgment intended to cleanse the earth of the Nephilim, the giants, the monstrous offspring, and the pervasive wickedness they and their Watcher fathers had caused. The flood waters destroyed their physical bodies, effectively ending their reign of terror on the physical plane. But according to this interpretation, while their bodies were destroyed, their spirits, the demons, were not. They became disembodied, forever cursed to roam the earth, influencing humanity towards the same darkness that led to the flood in the first place. Enoch, according to his book, foresaw this judgment and even pleaded for the Watchers, but their fate and the fate of their offspring was sealed. So we have Enoch, the prophet who walked with God, the Watchers, fallen angels who corrupted humanity, the Nephilim or giants, offspring of angels and humans, and in this specific interpretation we also consider monstrous offspring from angels and animals. The Great Flood served as a judgment, destroying their physical forms. And the lingering result? Demons, the disembodied spirits of these corrupted beings, forever detached from the physical bodies they once possessed. These are powerful ancient stories that raise profound questions about good and evil, divine judgment, and the hidden forces that might influence our world. While the Book of Enoch isn't canonical scripture for most, its influence on religious thought and mythology is undeniable. What do you think about these accounts? Do you believe the Nephilim walked the earth? What are your thoughts on this interpretation of the origin of demons? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective. If you found this journey into ancient mysteries interesting, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more deep dives, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration. Thanks for watching.